The 7 modes of the major scale are effectively 7 shades of brightness, 7 different shades of tonality. We can consider all these 7 modes as being in this spectrum, with Lydian being the brightest scale, working all the way down to Locrian, which is the darkest scale. Now you don't have to worry too much about the technical aspects of modes today, but we are going to be using these 7 modes to change the music, to change the tonality of a piece of music that I really love. So today we'll be taking my version of a quite underrated Nintendo song called Mountaintop Secrets, which came from the 2015 3DS game Mario & Luigi Paper Jam. And we're going to take this and move it through the 7 different modes of the major scale to compare the modes with the major scale to see how it differs. The original scale that the song uses is the E minor scale, the E natural minor scale, if when we're referring to modes is referred to as Aeolian. But bear in mind, Aeolian is just a fancier name for the minor scale. Here is the melody of the loop we'll be listening to. This is the extract in its original form, E Aeolian. So the minor scale would normally be classified as sad, sorrowful, and serious, but the composer Yoko Shimamura wasn't going for that approach. Instead, Yoko was going for a more mystical, adventurous sort of feel. But now it's time to bring that feeling to a new level and go up the spectrum. Our next scale up the spectrum is Dorian. The Dorian scale is like the minor scale, but the 6th degree is raised. So instead of having a C natural, we have a C sharp. And you'll notice that when I apply the mode to this song, you'll hear how different it sounds from the minor scale. Compared to the minor scale, the raised 6th of Dorian gives the song a much more brighter, ethereal, and whimsical sound to it. Okay, so our next mode up the spectrum is Mixolydian. The only difference between Dorian and Mixolydian is that we've now raised the 3rd degree. But this has a really big impact on the scale because we've now gone from minor modes to major modes. Since we previously in Dorian had a minor third, the lower third, now that we've raised it, we're back to a natural third, and we're using a major tonic chord, and you'll hear how different it sounds. So it's very much a major sound, but it's dark enough that we're not at a full major quality yet. Mixolydian has more of a mellow, cool, laid-back sort of sound compared to the major scale. But speaking of the major scale, it's time to go there right now. The major scale is also referred to as Ionian, and again, that's just the modal name for major scale. The only note that we need to change to go from Mixolydian to major is the 7th note. Now, the melody of Mountaintop Secrets doesn't contain any 7th degrees as notated here, so all we have to do is change the chords in the second half, and that'll paint us into the major scale. Compared to Mixolydian, major is brighter, but it's also more sort of straightforward and proper, and sounds sort of classical. Alright, now it's time to go to our brightest mode, which is Lydian. Lydian is like the major scale, apart from the 4th degree has been raised. So we'll now go back to Mountaintop Secrets, which is now in E major, so we're going to take all the A's, the 4th degree, and raise it up to A sharp. But I had to do a lot more than just changing the note. I also had to really engineer the chords so that we hit home that this is E, because Lydian is unstable. If we don't keep E droning most of the time, our ears will start to be directed to another note as the tonic note, in this case, B. E Lydian is the 4th mode of B major. So to make sure that we don't lose sight of our tonic note, I put every chord under a pedal tone of E, so that we hear E as our root note underneath. Hear how Lydian has a very transcendental, bright, ethereal, magical sound to it, and quite cinematic too, because it's used quite a lot in film scores. So we've explored the right end of the spectrum with the brighter modes, so now we only have 2 modes left. So we'll go back to our original minor version of Mountaintop Secrets, and we'll now start exploring the 2 modes left that are darker than minor. The only difference between the minor scale and Phrygian is that the 2nd degree of the scale has been lowered. So now, instead of having an F sharp, we have an F natural. We'll also swap out some of the chords with those that have the lowered 2nd degree, the signature note of Phrygian, which includes this F over C chord and this B minor 7 flat 5 chord, or B half diminished. And these chords will hit home that we're in E Phrygian. So if the minor scale is sad, sorrowful, and serious, then we can consider the Phrygian mode as being scary, uncertain, and sort of exotic and Arab-esque. Alright, we are now entering the void. We're entering the pits of darkness. We are now at the darkest mode we have, Locrian. The only difference between E Phrygian and Locrian is that the 5th degree has been lowered. So now we've got a B flat, whereas we previously had a B. And this has a really, really big impact on the scale, because now the lowered 5th degree has turned our tonic chord into a diminished chord, and the diminished chord is very, very unstable. It is unsettled and really wants to resolve somewhere else. But hey, it's worth a shot to put Mountaintop Secrets into the Locrian mode. What do you think? So we now have every 5th degree lowered, and as for the chords here, well, this is the one I had to do the most work on, because I had to put literally every single chord under the tonic note of E, because if we don't put E as our tonic note in Locrian, our ears will be shifted elsewhere. So at every opportunity, we're going to continue to hit E as our unlikely root note. As you can hear, Locrian is even darker than Phrygian. So it's like if the minor scale was sad and the Phrygian scale was scary, then Locrian is just frickin' unnerving as heck. So the Locrian mode is the most unstable of the 7 modes of the major scale. So you really, really, really have to work to make it sound Locrian. Or just don't make it sound Locrian at all. Use a different mode for heaven's sake. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. And as you may have guessed, this is an inspiration from David Bennett Piano. He is an awesome YouTube channel who does music theory videos, so go ahead and check him out, he's amazing. I'll see you all in another video.